The day of the hurricane, technically, you're making your calls. We called. Well, first I called my mortgage company just to have full disclosure on this, and they kind of like, in a very nice way, why'd you call us? Directed me to my insurance, called, made the report. Then we called FEMA. No matter your tax bracket, where you at, after a natural disaster, they offer services, so I was told. So it's potentially advantageous to get in touch with them. After talking with them, kind of putting a report in with them, and monetarily from FEMA, we received $500 somewhere within the process, as well as so many others did. It was kind of something a stipend that a lot of people received, but it was $500. We'll take a tally here. Once we were done with them, they funneled us through to the SBA to fill out a application. Now, this is something I knew nothing about. Being locked in for 13 days, you get to talking with people, and they kind of educate you on what had happened with Rita. During Rita, I was not a homeowner. Anyway, so we registered with the SBA. Let's go ahead and cut to 3 weeks later, getting ready for the next hurricane coming in, Delta. We'd spent, after the 13-day lock-in, 2 weeks away in Dallas. We came back, were able to procure an apartment. At that time, we were paying a mortgage and that exorbitant renter's fee. Again, it was high premium in the area. Lots of people without their homes at this time. We're getting in that apartment. We're finding out we got another hurricane coming, Hurricane Delta. In the end of it, it ended up hitting Lafayette, Welsh, that area harder than us. The lock-in that I also participated in for that one was much shorter, 4 or 5 days. Somewhere in between when I was locked in for that, I got an email from the SBA assuring that I was accepted. They actually kind of educated me on what the insurance payout would be. The insurance adjuster had come 29 days after we'd called him, something like that. But so when we were informed of that, he was able to let me know that we would be accepted into the program. The program was to reestablish basically a home after something like this happened. So you got a rebuilding fund type of situation, but it's a loan. It's a very low interest rate loan, but it's a loan. So this man's telling me, look, we're going to be accepted into the program at this time. So this is November of 2020. From 2020 to March, there's various pieces of paperwork, agents. At the end of this, we had 14 caseworkers for the SBA. But in March of 2021, we finally get what it actually will be, $204,500. It started off in the 170 range, I believe, until the SBA were able to put boots on the ground. When they put boots on the ground, they were able to guesstimate a proper payout. And that was the max, $204,500. As you can imagine, me and my wife were excited at this point. We went through a small adjustment phase just because they were putting that towards the replacement of the mobile home that was just, made unlivable. We were using the funds to build instead. So there was a little tweak there. But again, emails to prove it was accepted and all that good stuff. So we think we're moving forward. Not so fast. It wasn't shortly after that first acceptance we get the kickback of injections. We reprove all the documentation of what the insurance payout was. We get confirmation. I say confirmation. This lady's telling me, matter of fact, that may not be prepared, but I do have some of the emails here printed out. Again, I touched base on the total. The total was $204,500. To recap our conversation, I understand you should have a TPC hopefully by Tuesday this week. This was sent on March 29th, 21. Your eligible physical loss via SBA is $204,500. Should your TPC be more than that, the difference should be covered with a shortfall, and you will need to be prepared to notify the SBA on how you prepare to do that. Which, if it's going to be more than a 2045, and again, the 2045 has categories, so we'll probably, I mean, well, not probably, for sure, a majority of it, maybe 180, was to be devoted to the house. We had some personal belongings not covered. Obviously, to get this home off this lot, which is still here. Anyway, they're saying if you have a shortfall, which is your home's going to cost more than, let's say, your 180 of what we got allotted for your home, then you would have to come up with the other funding. Perfect, great, of course. You know, that's how much they loan. And again, I'm harping loan. This is a loan, people. It will be paid back. It is used or pulled from the taxpayers' dollars, which I have paid my fair share my entire life. Well, entire eligible life. Anyway, it's easy for me to get off task. The fact that we went from 170 some odd to 204, at that point we was super excited. I mean, like, for sure, because they got boots on the ground and they telling us this is what it is, it's more than that. So in their minds, I'm sure it's even more than that, but they got us to the max and all that good stuff. Anyway, I'd like to just call back to another email here. This is received, the first one say it was on March 20, or it was on March 29th of 2021. This one was received April 16th, 2021. I spoke with management. I will be able to proceed with the initial disbursement, $25,000, when the loan modification for your project is complete, and I believe it's almost complete. Your file is being updated to reflect the changes. Pretty encouraging. Now, this right here was received, and she's talking about just reflecting changes very shortly after. Look, that was the 16th. On the 27th, I get the first of the most horrible phone calls you can receive when you're in this process, because you're just living in this FEMA unit. You see that your daughter has no place to play, and you're looking every day at this home that was yours, that is still yours, still mine right now, paid off, but dilapidated, just molding. It kills you. It kills you. So you're going through this shit right here. You get this phone call from this lady talking about you received $150,000 in payments. You need to prove where they come from. Well, see, the thing it was, those payments all incurred that she had came from our insurance company, went straight to our mortgage company, forced payouts there, and then came to us. So, as I try to explain that to her, she denies my explanation. Says I need to prove documentation of what we did with the $150,000, which again, it's not quite $150,000, and those details are so key when you're messing with this shit. I have found out. No pro, obviously. Now, once we get off the phone, I'm shot to shit. Trying to move forward, I get the documentation. I'm looking for these receipts, because we have these receipts. I don't know where the hell they're at. Hell, even now I got all kinds of shit. The organization. And I'll tell you, I think it's about this time right here is when my mental health started to kind of waver. And it's early in the process, I understand. Look, we're talking about hurricane happening in 2020. This is April 2021. You know what I'm saying? So the humility as a man I have incurred and understood is unmeasurable. If anything, this was a lesson for me in that. You know, my false sense of security before this was astronomical. I thought my 6-figure job, my wife, my kid, my little starter house, my little 2 acres, that's it. I got it. Then you put me in supervision 5 years later. I mean, it's like, hey, I made it. This is the American dream, correct? My mind has been enlightened. I've I've had a fair share of humble pie. And I guess, in the end, it's going to be used for good. Now, when receiving that, gathering documentation, unable to deliver this lady what she wants, I'm thinking, because I'm not seeing these receipts. She talked about receipts for the big payouts. There's big payouts. Again, I say big payouts, but in the category of debris removal, which this is going to be debris removal, they gave me $500. $32,000 is the quote I got, and this was received maybe a year ago. It's so important to get across that this shit has ruined me and my family. This isn't a light thing. This is a natural disaster that inserted itself directly up me and my family's ass. And again, no Vaseline, no care. It's been rough since this phone call. And again, that's in April of 2021. I tend to run away with my words and get to rambling about shit not pertaining to the topic. So it seemed very important that I take my time with this entire story. If it doesn't rectify some semblance of our life, because I'm telling you, people, we've been through it. We've been through it. Me and my wife, us and the child. It's something that will change the dynamics within your current family. So that's what they've taken from me. We're still here physically. If we can get a foothold, we'll see where we are mentally. This April 27, 2021, this email here that popped the just wait for it, popped that balloon, broke our backs. Because again, I identified with my mental health being waned that day. There was at least 2 other occasions where we were told we were going to get the injection, the $25,000 to start off with, which again would have gotten this mold-infested home off of our property. Now I can say years ago. That's wild. That's wild. Now, while this is all going on, we're living in a FEMA unit, which we still do. Upon accepting that FEMA unit, we had to sign a contract just to enter the unit. At that time, we had the apartment, we had the mortgage we were still paying, we were drowning. We were just looking to get out of it, not the loans that we were having to take out. But honestly, at that time, I was also thinking maybe, that our insurance was a normal insurance heavy enough to carry those things. We found out differently. But all that's happening. We just want to get in this damn unit. It's in our yard. It was parked in our yard in November of 2020. This is now January of 2021 when we're getting ready to sign this contract. They go over the stipulations. This is not our home. This is their home. They have entry at any time. Twice a month we will be visited by one. The first visit will be a FEMA rep and a state rep. This is during COVID and all that shit. Anyway, they'll come, they'll schedule, they'll come. I'm sure they say they accept reschedules, but they're not happy when they got to. And then the other one that we had to accept is a random contractor from Ridgeline, who I guess who was their contractor they were using, coming to our house. Again, these people get full run of the inside, outside, everywhere. They go where they want to because they take pictures of your bedrooms. And the reason why, for maybe fire alarms or this, that, and the other, but they have to go in there, take it. You have no access to your water heater, which, okay. This is not your home. Uh, it was early in the process. Now I'll give them this for sure. A majority of the people who have come here have been good. The couple that from FEMA who's come lately have been fantastic. Um, the state has never sent anybody that has seemed intrusive or anything. The state has always seemed to send a good one. Uh, I say that only because there was a member of FEMA, one lady, who not only flipped our heads upside down, uh, altered the whole process because it just enveloped it in anger and doubt in these people. Now, when we're presented with this contract, it also talks about not hanging anything on the walls. You couldn't put anything on the walls. We got stuff coming out of our ears. Even now, we got stuff exposed in the elements because we can't afford the damn all those bins and storages and shit like that. It just incurs. And again, when I say afford, that is a hit every time. That wasn't a conversation before the hurricane. You know, can we afford these things? Damn, it hurts, but I have to come out because we're at the end. They have taken it. They've taken it all. I said they. Yeah. Don't you hate that? When you can't take responsibility. I take responsibility for not being not savvy enough, but educated, more educated on what the hell the process was. Now, living down here, you would think we'd get hit with 100 of these things, but no, this is only the second one I've ever been through. The first one I've ever been a homeowner in. So the first one that happened, Rita, that I was a part of, I didn't even own a home. I was just taking care of myself. You know, being a nomad. This is something that if I'm to point to myself is that I should have done more research and education. But I will say, whenever I Googled FEMA process on the internet, what I came up with back then, you know, was just one instance of a couple, not in this area, but in the area, who didn't qualify for a FEMA unit strictly because of their status, I think, on insurance or not. Anyway, it was one story. So there's no information on how tits up this shit was going to go. I was not expecting or prepared for it. Now again, that's having faith, complete faith in the process. And no matter how rocky it could get, it seemed up to this point in my life, when I did follow the process, it tended to work out. Well, this one didn't work out. So we signed the contract. Gets to a point with one of the contractors. He walks in my home and immediately says, "You have to take that off," pointing to my doorknob. You see, what I didn't explain within the contract, also, you needed to keep everything as is. They had keys to your place. They could get in your place anytime. They had all the keys. We got a couple of them. Well, the front doorknob damn near jiggled off. I put a smart lock, our shit on there, kept their shit for when I have to reinstall it or whatnot. Anyway, this fella, he's a contractor, comes in there, you need to change that. Anyway, long story short on that, because it ain't even worth it. We get into shouting a match. My daughter's sitting right there just looking at it. I'm trying to stop. I'm telling them to get the hell out of my house. All right, just back and forth. And again, bad on me. I should have never engaged in anything with the man. But Ridgeline did a great job of never sending him back to the property again, well, that I knew of. And really everyone before and after that was fine. So it's not a beef on mine on that part. But it's interesting having your daughter witness these visits every month by like probationary type of people. It's weird. It's weird. At that point, for sure, feeling like that we were lawbreakers or some shit, you know, like we were on parole or some shit, you know. It was Very interesting. And the FEMA and state people, they demanded a report on where you were. What have you done? Where are you at in the SBA process? But the kicker here is, where are you at in the SBA process? When you tell them where you're at and that you're getting stonewalled, because the FEMA people come by here and they look, they take pictures of the house. Some of them are bold enough to go in. The situation is recorded and reported. I have no doubt. These people, all the people besides that one lady that I'm gonna talk about, are too good of people. They're doing their job. They're reporting this. FEMA has no back and forth with SBA. Now again, FEMA funneled us to the SBA, right? But when the process becomes murky with the SBA, FEMA has zero to do with it. They can't even reach across the aisle, it seems like. Because I will say, all of them will go unnamed, but a very, very good one. Very good case worker we had. I showed him some of these documents, these emails and things, and they said, do you, have you had anybody hear your story? And I've tried to get it out there. Look, I've posted to KPLC, Fox News, all them, hell, I'm sure CNN, all of them. While this injustice is going on, which we're firmly in belief of, I'm also going to work. At this time, I've been promoted into management, like solely, the salary, I'm sorry, yeah, well, management, the salary. I was salaried at the time now. Doing my best to figure all this shit out. And again, you got COVID going on. I fuck around and get COVID, which was interesting because I never thought it was a nothing, but I truly believe in that brain fog shit. So I think I was affected also by that. This isn't a whole barrel of excuses I got for you. This is reality. Reality. And I'm trying to bring it to you in a way that's not necessarily like as biased as I feel. You know. I want individuals to walk away at least from hearing this as there is a change that needs to be made and a change that is made. You know, I speak of the SBA and FEMA and dadgum Lincoln Financial and Westlake Kim, these specific companies because they were within this process. But it's a nameless, faceless company around the world when families are made into collateral damage, as we were. There is no ifs, ands, and buts in our heads, at least. Look, we might be the crazy people on the block when this is all said and done. I don't think that'll be the case. I think cooler heads should prevail. From our past experiences, I have no faith that will occur. So quite frankly, to continue with the story,